Hi, everyone. Welcome to the program Shagalinku. It's a Tuesday's edition of the program, and thanks to everyone who's been joining us, everyone who's been following us on all our social media handles. Keep liking our pages. Like I say, every time we come on air, it's Shagalinku TV on YouTube. Like and subscribe, and also click on the notification button. Whenever there are updates, we'll let you know. In fact, you'll get an alert on it. And then for Twitter, Instagram, Facebook is at Shagalenko TV. Today we'll be looking at something very important that I think a lot of women particularly need to come close and join us in the discussions today. Sometimes when you see women later on in life, maybe 10, 20 years later, and you ask them, have they been able to meet their dreams? Some of the things they tell you or would tell you is that they got carried away with a whole lot of pressure from the family, from the home front, and all that. And when we talk about family here, we're not just saying for married people, because as individuals, we have parents, we have siblings that we're taking care of. So that's why we're asking this afternoon on today's episode, is it possible to pursue your dreams and also maintain or run the home front as you pursue your dream? Because sometimes, even just not for married people, like I said, you find men who get up to like 45, 50, and they aren't married yet. And when you ask them, they tell you they have an aging mother that they need to take care of, or they are the eldest in their family, and they need to do a whole lot of school fees paying and all the upkeep. But we know that if you plan well, you could achieve all that and still achieve your personal dreams. My guest today is a wonderful singer, a woman of God, a mother herself. So she's grounded in this topic we'll be talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome LAMEE. I'm rolling the
Hello,
drums.
hello.
Good
Let me roll the
afternoon.
drums for you too. Rolling the drums for you too.
How are you
Good
doing?
afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm good. Good to see you. Okay, I have so many
I'm
questions I want
excellent.
to
I'm
ask
doing
you.
very fine. I'm doing
Okay, I have
very
so many
fine.
questions I want to ask.
Oh,
I
that's
read
nice.
through before I came on air. I read through
Same
some of the
here.
comments. Yeah, before I came on air, I read some of the comments
Okay.
already on the page, and it's been amazing, you
Okay.
know. But let's start with the first things first. I'm going to be asking you later how you cope with all this profile of yours: songwriter, singer, creative writer, and a lawyer, and all that, because each of these is a full-time job. I tell you, it's
Mm,
not a moi moi. But first and
exactly.
foremost, who is LAMEE? Who is she? Where is she from? What does she do? Let us know into the world of LAMEE.
Okay. Thank you. Lami, is I kind of changed the spelling of Lami. My original name is spelled LAMI, but Lami is more of my stage name, my singer's profile name. So Lami, my full name is Lami Manzo Iwehoy, and from Bauchi State, from the northern part of Nigeria, from Bauchi State, half Bauchi, half my mom is from Plateau State. And well, I'm married to a man from Edo State. So I guess we're a complete Nigeria mix. So I'm married with three children. I have a 20-year-old, I have an 18-year-old, sorry, 19-year-old,
Wow.
and a 17-year-old. I could
Wow,
almost see my
wow, wow.
19-year-old roll her eyes at me now because she doesn't joke with her age. She does not like her age to be reduced for any reason.
In
So
fact, she wants it higher.
I have those three. Yes, I know she rather you increase it than reduce it.
Ijebu Gari.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, I
Okay,
have them
go
well.
on.
My three children are all undergraduates, so they're all in the
Mm.
university by the grace of God. I thank God for that. I've been married for the past 21 years. I am a singer. I'm a songwriter, like the profile says. I'm a creative writer. Like it's sometimes I tell some of my friends, I said it's a blessing and sometimes it's a burden, because everybody that needs to get something across will come to you and say, you're good at writing, just elaborate this thing, just go on. We trust you. And they don't know what you put into the effort you put into
True.
these things. They just say, just go ahead, you're good at it, you're good at it. And I'm like, okay, no problem. Well, I'm about to say praise the Lord. I'm used to that as a Christian. Anyway, so that's me. And then I'm a lawyer too by training. Yes, and on the side I practice, but fully not as fully into that as I am into other things. So, but that should be about it. What do I say again? I'm the first daughter in my family. Um, have five. I used to have 5 siblings. I have 4 sisters, and then I had one brother, but he's late now. So I have four
Oh,
sisters. So we are 5 left now. So I think that's
may so
about it.
rest in
If there's
peace.
anything else you
Yeah.
want me to, amen, amen.
Okay.
So if there's anything,
Um,
yeah.
yes. Okay. As the program goes on, we'll talk more about that. Let's go through
Okay.
your musical journey, because um, a lot of people already know you've been singing for as long as you can remember. You've
For
always
sure.
blessed people's life. I've always said something on the show that the church has a place to harness talent. A lot of
Yes.
secular musicians who sing today are products of church choirs, but they
Yes.
sometime along the line just you know either hustle or something. They just go secular to also maybe blow or get more money. If you
So
trace
that
every accomplished singer, they started out from the choir. So let's even take your musical journey before we even come to other aspects of your creative writing and all that you do. How has it been? Take us through your music journey.
okay. I would say my music journey actually started from my secondary school. I was a member of the junior choir then. I from my JS, I think it was JS2 or so, I had this teacher, in secondary school I was very close to. He was more like a guardian to me. His name is Emmanuel Ilya Remshak. And I was particularly very close to him. And because I loved singing, to be honest with you, I wasn't so much of a Christian. I was well morally upright, but I wasn't so much of a Christian because I loved singing. And I was admiring the school choir then. When they would sing, I would be admiring them. So I kind of, got interested into it. And then this guardian of mine, encouraged me to join the choir. I remember something, he did then. He told me, he said, when we did the auditions, when I did my audition, he actually told me, he said, Lami, you have an alto voice, because I was actually put to sing with the soprano singers. But he told me your voice is alto. And I was like, no, I can pitch. So my voice is so I feel I'm soprano singer. He said, no, you're an alto singer. And it came to pass over the years. I've really realized that I am more of an alto singer, than any other part. It's not that I can sing other parts. I might not be able to sing soprano, but
Yeah,
I could
yeah.
sing, the melody parts and all that. I can sing all parts. But he was the one that started that journey. He saw something in me. He always used to tell me that you have this talent, you can sing and all that. I didn't take it particularly
Mm.
seriously. I finished secondary school. I was part of the choir till I finished. And then I got to the university and I joined, I joined the church choir very reluctantly. And then I joined the campus choir too. And I started to build up this talent as I was in university. And then back home in Kano, we became members of this church, Living Faith Church in Kano, in Zaria. That's the church that was headed by the late professor and Bishop Mister there. And then we got to Living Faith. That was actually where I grew. Living Faith Church Kano. That was actually, they call it Winners Chapel now. That was actually where I grew. The talent, blossomed. And I really saw that, oh, this was not just something, it was really a calling. So I would say I was about at that time I was about the age of probably 19 when I really came into it and realized that this is what I really, I was really called to do and all that. So from then, would I say I continued and I've been doing that ever since. I've been on it, I've been singing. But issue of coming up with an album, well, I started the journey earlier when I was pregnant with my first daughter. But like we say, when you get married, which is what we're talking about now, balancing the career, balancing
Yeah.
the calling, balancing the talents, and then balancing the married life, balancing having children and all that. So at some point, I had to put these things on hold and focus on other things, before I could now come out and enter into it fully, which is what I'm doing now. So
Wow.
the
Wow. Good
journey.
one. Okay, in case you just joined, the program is Shagalinko. It's a Tuesday's edition, and we are looking at how people can basically pursue their career, pursue their dreams, their personal aims and objectives, goals actually, and aspirations, and how they can marry it up with family. I did say when I started the show that when we talk about family, it's not just for people who are married, but also people who have siblings, who have brothers they are taken care of. And today, my guest, special guest, is a singer, a songwriter, creative writer, and also a lawyer. Keep the messages coming now. Just go under the comment section and drop your messages, and we'll be reading them shortly. Also, let us know if you have also gone through these stages. Just let us know how you were able to achieve your dreams and also was able to juggle all that. We got some messages here, madam. So I'll take a few and then we'll come back and do all that. Anyway, let me ask you this one before we read some of the messages here.
Okay.
Well, how I want you to paint a scenario of because the world is moving towards women empowerment, girl child education. I want you to paint a typical scenario of an African woman, because she has strength, she does a lot, but it seems society still hasn't gotten to that place where we give women their true positions and their rights. Where we okay, let's even forget
Absolutely.
rights, where we appreciate what they do. So we take it like
Exactly.
minute. You born pikin, no be for born pikin, or she cleans the house. You be housewife now. You know supposed clean house. So take us through a typical journey of an African woman and why she needs to be appreciated and respected in her space.
All right. Thank you very much for bringing that question up. A friend of mine today, she sent me a message telling me that she wouldn't be able to, because she wouldn't be able to make the show. But she sent something. Now, what you're saying is very close to what, she mentioned to me today. She sent it, if let me just permit me to just read it briefly.
Please
She
do.
said,
Yeah, yeah.
I have never seen where a married man was asked how he maintains work-life balance. Nobody
Mm,
bothers about how a married man will combine marriage and career and parenting because marriage
mm,
does not affect a man's career. Their careers
mm,
always come first. That's why a man will be busy pursuing a PhD, but he knows nothing about how his children feed or get clothes or go to school. His only concern is to call them on the phone occasionally and pray with them. Guess what? People will pretend not to notice this issue. You notice that he's useless, or would I say almost useless. But the same man will feel justified to dictate to the wife what she should do with her own life. This man will claim
mm,
that the wife is not mother enough because she made a choice to outsource domestic chores to enable her meet up with her career. How would you expect it? How would a man who is absent in all his responsibilities be throwing stones? Since when did people start living in glass houses? Since when did people who live in glass houses start throwing stones? It is the woman that the society disturbs about how she would cope with career and family. Nobody does that to the man because we have collectively allowed it in our subconscious that most men are actually very useless in marriage. Now, let me not say useless, but most men are
mm.
allowed to not be that involved in a marriage or
Yeah,
in parenting.
yeah.
Even in marriage, they could be selfish and lead lives like unmarried men. This is the truth. Yet the point of marriage is meant to be partnership. Both parties are meant to create that work-life balance together. They are meant to look out for each other. So I could go on, but I don't want to. It's kind of long, but we get the gist.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
what she's bringing out for is like what you're asking now. You're saying you're talking about the African woman. Basically in society, you find that there's this idea that the woman, no matter what she's doing, the home front belongs to her. The woman has to
Yeah.
take care of the kids. You end up seeing that there's so much burden. I'm not saying that this is my situation, because I have a very understanding husband. I got married. I tell people I'm lucky in that area. I got married to, a person that is very understanding, and is very supportive of everything that I do. But it's not the case with most, African women, especially in Nigeria. Let me be particular about Nigeria, because those are the ones I know.
Yeah.
I think society needs to come to that place where they understand that if a man is working and the woman is working, is a 50-50 thing. You're both responsible for the upbringing of your children. You're both responsible for upkeep of the home. You're both responsible for school fees. If the woman is working, she's pulling her weight. If she's doing whatever she's doing, even if it's the business, if she's doing whatever side hustle. So this idea that, I think the narrative, at the end of the day, how do you balance your having kids and balance until this narrative is changed? We need to understand that a woman is entitled to having her own career. She's entitled to building an empire for herself. She's entitled to, bringing out the best version of herself. Exploring the possibilities just as much as the man is. The responsibility of making the home front stay balanced is on both parties. It's not just on the woman. So that narrative really, we really have to. And I'm happy, because these days you see comments on social media. You see, even when I talk with my girls, I tell them, live your dreams. When they're talking, I see people that are determined. I see young ladies that are determined to, make something out of their lives. And I'm proud of that. So we need to change the narrative. And the first place that this thing begins is in the home. If you have a daughter, if you have daughters, encourage them as a father and as a mother to live their best lives. The same passion you put into making, encouraging your son to make the best of himself is the same passion you should put into
Yeah.
your daughters. Don't prepare your daughters for marriage. Don't prepare your daughters for being how to cook. Teach them all these domestic things, and then neglect the aspect of them becoming someone in life. Neglect the aspect of them becoming achievers, becoming the best version of themselves that they can be. So that's, I
True.
think,
True. Thank you very much. We'll quickly
yeah.
read some messages here. Sorenia Hannatu Gimba says, awesome, my darling big sister. Hey, they are rooting for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my cousin right
Um,
there. Love you, sis.
Onilola Longe also
Mommy
says,
Lola. Hey, girl. That's my friend. Thank
okay.
you.
Uh,
Thank you.
Okay, so this one is from Efosa. It says, good afternoon. You look beautiful. What inspired your first track?
Okay. That's that question. Okay, that's nice. Now,
Yeah.
what inspired my first track? I would say not track, but my first song.
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
I think that's where it's headed. It's more of the first song I wrote, not really first track. Because we're talking about first track is about Holy is the Lord, is the first track,
Okay.
first single I released. But let me concentrate on the first song I wrote. Now, the first song I wrote is titled, it will come out, is coming up in my upcoming album. And the title of the song is A
Okay.
Search for Love. And at that point, I wrote that song when I just hit the age of 20. That was the first song I wrote. I was about 20 at the time. And I was coming from a very bad, will I say, from a journey. Let me say a journey of like this. Let me just say this topic we're talking about today. When we talk about balancing the home, the career, the family, and all that for
Mm,
women, sometimes these things tell on marriage. And I must
true.
tell you, I am a product of a marriage that did not work out well. So, it did not work out well. So my parents separated and they all got later got remarried. My dad is late now, God rest his soul, but that's the background of it all. So that song I wrote at the time, I was going through challenges because of that, that issue, because of the issue of separation. So to a great extent, I see the lapses. I'm coming from a place where there were those lapses, in marriage. There were those lapses that were created that need, the home front to be affected and all that. So I wrote that song coming from a place of pain, coming from a place of, oh, what I had been through, and seeing how marvelously God had taken all that bitterness, all that anger, all that frustration, and all the pain, and translated into something of love. Because at the end, the chorus talks about, you're the one who set me free. So basically, I was set free from a lot of bad, negative energy, negative emotions, and bad experiences. So now
Wow.
that's it.
Okay. We'll take some more comments and see how it goes. Um, I'll be asking for those who just watching for the first time or just meeting LAMEE, you'll get to hear one of our songs soon. Once we take some of these messages here, we'll just ask her to perform live for us exclusively one of our songs, and then she'll be closing us up later on the show when we finish. But let's take a few messages here. This is one of our very, very regular listener and viewer from Asia, and his name is Karim J.A. Jackson. He says, wow, wonderful. This topic, I have no idea how to balance my family, ambition, business, and personal lifestyle properly. I'm always exhausted. So what will you
I
advise?
feel you. It can be exhausting sometimes,
Honestly,
honestly.
very
It can
tiring.
be
It could
exhausting, because if
be
you say it's not exhausting, we would be telling ourselves lies. Even for the
true.
for the full-time, full-time mother, full-time housewife, it could be exhausting. Not talk about when you have to join, you have to put your career, you add that to it, you put your other gifts, and you want to put all that into the mix and make the best, live the most productive life. It can be taxing. But what I would
Yeah.
say is that should always, the way to get through these things, have a mind of, I can do this. I have this belief that no matter how tired I am, if I tell myself, I can still, you're exhausted. Maybe you come back from an exhausting day, and you come back and you're just tired. I tell myself, I can get up and actually still go to the kitchen and do this. And once I say it, the strength comes
Yeah.
from nowhere. I don't know if
Mm.
if you're getting what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
You get motivated.
If you tell yourself, you have to mentally keep telling yourself, yes, you have to keep on encouraging yourself, keep on motivating yourself. Self-motivation, encouragement, telling yourself, I can still
Yeah.
do this, I can do that, I can do this, I can do that. If you keep on having that mindset, you can and you will. And another thing that you need is always if you have one friend, if you're not married, you have your partner, or have a very good friend, like, they are amazing. I have a very good support. So when you're even exhausted, you need, don't worry, you can do this. I know you can. You get that, mental, and it gives you back the energy that you need to
Yeah.
forge ahead.
Rejuvenated.
So
Yeah.
he should tell himself that he can do it, and he will be able to do it. He can balance. Tell yourself, I know I can balance. And then always prioritize. Tell yourself, what is the most important for me to do per time, and take them one at a time. Don't overwork yourself, don't overdo, but tell yourself you can do it, and then take it one step at a time.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Before I let you do a song for us, there's another message here I would like you to read for us, and then we'll let you do a song. Over to you.
Yeah, it says yes,
Could you read this? Yeah.
100%. Yeah, I'm reading it. Yes, 100%. It's very possible to pursue your dreams and also raise or run a family. With diligence, good schedule, proper planning, and focus, one can still pursue his or her dreams and also raise or run a family, which is absolutely spot on. That person got
Mm.
it spot on. You have to be determined, you have to be focused, you have to have your mind made up, up that you want to do this, once your mind is made up, funny enough, the funny thing is that sometimes you just find out that when you decide that I can do this, it's like there's an energy your mental
Yeah, it
energy
just
is giving to
comes
the world, and then
suddenly.
you just start walking. So it's always good to have a positive mindset.
Okay, so let's talk about your album, your soon to be released album. What's the
Okay.
title? How many tracks? What should we be expecting? What genre of music do you do? Is it akbala? Is it kalangu?
Well, no, no Kalambu, no, not because I'm from the north, but I don't do Kalambu music. I'm not good at that. So I'm from Bauchi State. I'm Sar. I love our music, but I don't think people will get it if I do it. So I guess people will get it, and I'm not very versed in the language. I speak Hausa fluently, but I don't speak my language that fluently. I could understand what you're saying, but not so much. So talking about my music, title of my album is The Beginning,
Okay.
because it's my debut album. Yeah, so I that was what the name I gave to it, The Beginning, and it has 8 tracks. Well, will I say it's a combination of let me say what comes to me naturally is more of R&B. I'm more of the slow. I'm more of the slow tempo kind of person, but I flow in most genres of music. So I'm not really limited. Yes, but another thing I would add to this is that my husband, is a good songwriter too. So if
Yeah.
you there's sometimes you get a blend in my music because my husband has an input in it. So
To change
sometimes
the
some of the songs,
results.
yes, yes,
Is the
he has an
INEC Oga?
absolutely. So he has the creative aspect he brings to it. He would sometimes what
Mm,
he would do, give me a chorus and then tell me, like one of my songs, marked right. When it comes out, people will hear it now. Talking like the chorus, he just threw the chorus at me and said, "Oh, just do something with this." And well, I
mm,
created a body around it. I created a body, and it became a song. So you
mm.
find out that gives a creativity to the album that is not just me, but is a fusion of ideas. If you get what I mean.
Yeah. Okay, in case you just joined us, you've missed like 27 minutes of the program, but we're still on here, and I'm talking with a singer, a songwriter, a creative writer, and a lawyer. She also didn't add, and a mother, and a counselor, and all that.
Yeah,
And she'll be,
and why?
and a wife, yeah. We'll be asking you to tell us a little more about your husband and the supportive system you found in him. But I'd like you to tell us the song you want to do now, and we'll give you like less than 2 minutes, a minute or thereabout, to just do something for us quickly, and then we'll come back. So, what's the song you want to do for us live?
Okay, I will take one of the singles I released already. I'll go with Holy is the Lord now. And the song is talking
Wow.
about the holiness. It's just more of a song of praise, a song of worship, appreciation. It was a song that came out of a time, the time I mentioned I lost my brother earlier. So that song was
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
first song that came out of that experience. So I was just giving God thanks and all that, and just praising and appreciating his name. So that's basically what the song is all about.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, if our guest is ready, let's roll the drum as she does a minute or two of our song, Holy is the Lord.
You have been my help through every trial. I will lift my voice to praise your name. You have been my help through all situations. I will lift my voice to worship you. 'Cause early in the morning, my heart is lifted up. And even in the noontime, I will sing the song, declaring you reign, oh God. So I lift my voice in my omega, rock and my salvation, my Savior and Redeemer, my healer and protector, mighty deliverer, my shield and my defender.
Okay. Thank you, thank you. I wish we could just go on and on and on, but that was so. What was the response when you released that song? Because a lot of people were like, she they sing, we know until LAMEE has this or that, she they sing, ma you sing.
Exactly. Yeah,
I know I was one of those who are on your neck too. I'm like, Auntie LAMEE, you must do a
yes,
song, go.
I know, right? Yeah, in fact, the reaction at the release of this song was amazing. I mean, it blew my mind.
Hmm.
It got so many shares. People were sharing it. People were subscribing. I mean, it was amazing. I was getting feedback. People were saying that they have to listen to this song in their lives when they were going through this and that. People that I have this belief that for someone to make a great impact in life, it doesn't have to be to the whole world. You
True,
understand? I want to reach
true.
the whole world. I want to touch the whole world. But some people, when they leave the world, like the short time my dad was here, when my dad passed on, I told myself, the lives he touched was amazing. So sometimes you do things and you find out that people will tell you, give you this feedback here, I'm blessed. Even if 10 people reach out to me, I feel blessed. And it's so much
True.
more than that. But I'm saying never look down on the little, impact you've made, no matter how small it is. So I think maybe it's
True.
because I came from a place of not expecting like it was going to blow so much like that, but I was amazed. I was amazed. I was amazed. I mean, it just blew my
Yeah.
mind. The response was
Okay.
fantastic.
Okay. We'll keep taking more messages because they are tripping in. Um, I got this one here from one of our other regular viewer from Dublin, Ireland. So help us read this from Ugbenyalo, all the way from Dublin.
Okay, absolutely possible. As a mother of 41, went back to school and work. I wasn't satisfied with just being at home. I sacrificed my time and freedom to achieve my dream. No matter the circumstances, is possible. Absolutely. I'm going to add something to what she said, and that is, it's never too late to chase your dream. It's never too late. Look at what she said. As a mother of 41, she went back to school. She went back to school. Some people would tell themselves that at 41, I'm already, on the down, down. I'm already going downhill and all that. But
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
it's never too late to chase your dreams. I know of women who went to college in their 50s, and they were still able to some went to school and got their nursing degree and still went to work at that
Yeah.
age. So, it's never too late to pursue your dreams. I absolutely agree with that. It's very, very possible. You can live your
Yeah.
dreams at whatever age.
Another one here from Emmanuel Bayo and Kano. He says, interesting show we have here, though I have missed some part of it. Some parts.
Hello,
You
Bayo,
haven't
Emmanuel
missed,
Bayo.
you haven't really missed because the video will still be here on Facebook and Twitter. And we are doing live and the video will still be here. So when you are free, you can always bump in and watch. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. And then Oyilola Longe says, are you going to release a full Hausa language track?
Ah,
We need one. Thank you, Oyilola. I asked her whether she would do Kalangu for us. She refused. We in the north, we want Kalangu.
don't mind her. What I would
Okay.
actually intend, because the demand has been very high. So Olala is one
Yeah.
of them. Oh, Lolly Long, I hear you loud and clear. I hear you loud and clear. So
Mm.
absolutely. not a complete Hausa album, but definitely an album with more Hausa tracks that would have a
Yeah,
complete house, maybe Hausa songs, one or two, something like that. So
yeah. Be-
absolutely,
Yeah, because
absolutely.
we really don't have many of that. Solomon Lange and a few more, and then even for
Exactly,
females, it's
exactly.
worrisome for the females, and even Dija, I just know she does a few flips of house songs or hooks and all that.
Mm.
So we really need that. And there was one of your songs I think you released one other song where you've always infused Hausa into
I like to
your
put a little
songs.
bit, not every song, but some.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay, yeah, some.
both of the ones I released so far, the two I've released, there's Hausa flavor there. They both
Yeah.
have
What
Hausa.
what is the name of that one that has Yayi or Abunde
Yeah,
Mutumbe or
that's Most
something?
High.
It has a
The title of the
hook.
song is Most High.
That
Yeah, Most
song
High.
is beautiful. That song will go places. God, every
Yeah,
time I hear that
amen.
song, especially that part where you know the Yayo thing is the chorus line that everyone knows,
Yes.
every church in the northern part sing a lot. So when I
Mhm.
heard that hook of it just does
Mm.
something to me, I was at the airport returning back to Kano sometime and I was playing your This Holy is the Lord that you sang, and I just didn't know how it just overwhelmed me and thoughts. Sometimes you think you are too strong, or people see you as strong, but they don't also know that there are times you also need backends and all the support system.
Yes,
I like the
yes,
fact. I like the fact that
yes,
you talked about
absolutely.
if you're not married, have a friend, have someone you could just onboard into, someone who
Hmm.
could just listen to you. You understand?
Yes,
Because a lot of times this
exactly.
hypertension, these suicidal missions and all that is due to a whole lot
Yes,
bottled up inside. We think we are strong. We Social media helps us to package a lot, and then we don't know all that. So I am really really happy about how you infuse some of these things there. Help us read this other one here, or have we
yeah.
read this?
Mm.
Please read this for us. Hello.
No, good afternoon. Looking at how, looking at how people get discouraged when they want to start their music ministry. How can you encourage them?
Hmm. Very true one. I'll let you
Yeah,
answer
I can
that
hear you.
shortly. Hello.
Can you
Okay.
hear me?
Yeah, I'll let you. Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear
I'll
me?
I, I
I'm still
can.
here.
I'll Okay. So I'll let you answer that shortly, but I like to read a few more
Hello,
messages.
can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you?
Can you hear me?
Okay. So while we wait, I think the network of our guest is a bit shaky. So while we wait for her to join us again, I'll read a few messages too. Mozamil Adamu from Kano says, "I'm with you." Okay, thank you, Mozamil. And okay, I think I've read this one before from Unilola Longe, and it says she's watching. Thank you very much, Unilola. Um, so we're asking, is it possible to pursue your dreams and be able to raise or run a family? So when we talk about family, we're also looking at even for those who are single but have siblings and all that. I think our guest is
What's
back.
wrong?
Hello, 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 hello. Are you back?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
I can
fine.
hear.
Okay, yeah. So I'll quickly take a few messages now, and then you respond to both the one Itohai asked and all. So El Sadiq here says, "Good afternoon. I hope you're all fine. As I see, this is really the topic that we need right now. We're having confusion a lot of times in pursuing our dreams, so we really need advice on how to re- realize our dreams and will be in Concord sooner or later. Matthias says, yes, it's possible. I think you've read that one before. It came on the other line. I got this one here from Tina Uwim, and it says, once one is able to know and identify his obstacles or challenges, one can now take necessary steps to overcome all the challenges. When pursuing your dreams, challenges may exist, e.g., not having enough resources, family issues, etc. One of the major obstacles are fear, unbelief, lack of focus. For one to fulfill his or her dream is absolutely possible, but it's left for one to believe in his or herself. So if you have a response for them, please do.
Yeah, basically, because what they're saying, they're not really asking questions. They're just agreeing with. So I would say absolutely. Now, in this issue of having a support system, I would also say for these young ones who are still coming up, who have not gotten into marriage yet, it's very important for you to be with someone whose purpose in life aligns with yours. It's very important, because if you enter into a lot of marriages are not working because people got married, they just got married because they fell in love, or they got married because they just felt that, oh, I'm getting older and all that, I need to settle down, and so many other factors that come into people choosing a spouse. I would advise the young ones, so that it doesn't become difficult for you when you now go into the marriage. You now find out that the man is now saying, oh, this is how I want it to be, and you did not have that discussion prior to marriage. Or the woman is saying, this is how
Yeah.
you think I think it should have been. That discussion should come prior to marriage. So it will be easier to balance these things when both of you, your ambitions, your plans, your foresights are all in alignment. Those that will make it much easier for you.
Okay.
Yes.
We will let's come to motherhood. You know, a lot of times I like the fact that you talked about, and then your friend who also sent that message about nobody's taking time out to ask men how they cope, because it's already a one size fits all. It's already a tailor made. It's already a trademark, so to say. What would you advise women, also mothers? Because if 10, 15 years down the lane, there'll be a lot of regrets. If I had done this, if I had done that, if I hadn't done this, if I had not done this, what will you now start telling them? That look, the time is now. You know, we've seen women who, even with pregnancy, they've gone to school. We see women who
Yes.
work even up till the day they deliver. So it's
Mm.
the world has gone beyond that stage where, and like I always say here on the program, even if a woman's husband has said, Madam, I want you to be a full-time housewife, if a woman is not a lazy woman, there are 1,001 things she can do in the home front. So the world has
Exactly.
gone just beyond that you must leave the house and then take a bus to Molue or Balende and then juggle and come back or mingle with men, because sometimes the men say why they don't want their wives to work or interact is because maybe a man will chase their wives or that. But I think it's insecurity anyway. But let's even
That's
assume,
insecurity.
because like you say, it's also a conversation. So some men will say, I want you to stay at home for XYZ years. Let's train these children and let them grow up to some extent. I know couples who the wife is a banker, the husband is a banker, but they came to an agreement that, you know what, we live in a dangerous time. Honey, can you step down and be home and train these kids while I go hustle for the money? And at an appropriate time, she rose up again and picked the pieces of her life and, even ran higher than other ones. So what will you begin to
Yeah,
advise women? Because a lot of times marriages, they don't have these conversations. People just assume your spouse
exactly.
should know, or he's supposed to know now, he's supposed to do this. People must begin to sit and have an agreement, a conversation where they reach. it,
Very,
it may
very
not
important.
be, yes, it may not be 100% to the right or to the left, but you can reach a common ground that, okay,
Exactly.
let's come to the center. Okay, I will do XYZ, why you will do this, because the economy is also not helping issues. So
Mhm.
it's not enough for women to just sit back and digital era is making things easy. People can work from the home front and all that. So what will be your words to mothers, especially?
What I would say is, like I said earlier, the first thing is to have the conversation. Have that conversation before you get into the marriage. For every woman, it's very important. Don't just make assumptions that, oh, when I get into this marriage, this is how it's going to be, because it's not going to be. I'll give you an instance. I have, someone close to me who, prior to marriage, she got married this earlier this year, and she was telling me that, oh, when they get married, because I was asking her, when you get married, because the husband came from a different church, where would you fellowship? And she told me, I
Worship,
definitely,
yeah.
definitely in my church. And I told her, really? Are you sure that's what he's thinking? She said, of course now. Like, it's in her church. And I asked her, I said, why?
She has
Why do you think?
concluded, Chief Judge.
Yes, she has concluded totally. That's someone coming from a point of naivety, not really understanding what marriage is all about. So I now told her,
True,
I said,
true.
have you had this conversation with him? She said, I said, why are you not assuming it's your church? She said, because her church is bigger. And I said, what? So she feels that he should move to her own church. I said, let me tell you, most times women, we follow men to their churches. That's the truth. So if you want to follow
Yeah,
to your church, have this conversation. So if he's, if he's aligned to it, he can come along with you. And she went on to have that conversation, and the man told her, we are going to my church. We are going to
girl.
my church. She came back to me and told me that, can you believe this conversation we had, that the man said it's his church. I told her, this is what I was telling you. That's why you need to have this
True.
conversation now. Imagine you had gotten married and it came to you as a blue. So now you can prepare
Mm.
yourself that this is where you're going. And if at all you need it change, you can follow him gently and then see how
And
you can
persuade, yeah.
sit down and talk about it and then give your reasons. And he brings his own reasons and you people can come to a compromise. So the bottom line of it, talk, 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 talk. Conversation is very important. Communication is important. Now, for those who
Yeah.
actually would have not gotten it right from the beginning, didn't have the conversation, and now found themselves already in that place. If you understand me, you're already married, and then you
Yeah.
now suddenly realize that, oh,
The
this is
deed
where,
has been done.
yes, and then you want to have a career, and the man is like, no, I want you to stay at home and all that. Don't just stay at home. No, like now, I'm very happy with the way the world is now. You can stay at home and work
True.
from home. There are so many things you can do. You can do forex. There are so many you can do online trading. You can have
Yeah.
stuff yourself,
Mm.
put it out there on Instagram. You can do so much. The possibilities. In fact, I almost feel as if most people don't really need an office or a shop. The way we're living these days,
Yeah.
So there's so much you can do. You can find opportunities in different places. There are opportunities for like creative writing. There are so many things you can do. You get paid for these things. So you look at your talents, look at the things you can do, even in that position of staying at home and
Space
all
that
that.
you are. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. Find something you can do. And another thing I would tell ladies, in marriage and all that, and even the men, don't compare your marriage or your situation with another person. Don't say because
True.
this person, she's working, going to work and
Mm.
doing this, I'm going to be like that. No, their situation is
Every
peculiar to
home is
them.
unique. Oh.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
unique in its own self. So you don't have to have that. Your narrative doesn't have to be the same with the other person's narrative. You just do your own thing. You just look at what works for your family. Look at what works for your home. If staying out of work for the early stage of marriage, because it's very important, the formative years of the
True.
children. If you're not there, one of the parents has to be there and very involved. Those are the years that children can, if you miss it, you've missed it. So if those are that's the time you feel that you don't have a very, a relative. Sometimes we're lucky. Some people have their mother-in-laws or their mothers who can just move in and be there while they go to work and all that. If you don't have that kind of support system, you could, find a way, both of you sit down and talk about it, the person with the lesser income. Because it doesn't have to be the wife. That's the truth.
True.
It doesn't
True.
have to be the wife to stay. The one with the lesser income, then the man can work from home. He too can find a business or something doing and do it from home and then take care of the home front. We have gone way past those days when the narrative is that men have to be the ones going to work and women have to be the ones staying at home and taking care of the children. The children are for everyone. The children are for both parties. So it's a collaboration. It's a
Yeah.
collaboration. We have to
Okay.
do it together.
Okay. So many messages are pouring in. I'll be reading them, and then you also help me read some. Um, Evelyn Cornelius says she's been a royal model.
She
Okay,
said it
and
royal.
then yeah,
I hear
and then
you, Evelyn.
she also says, and then she also says the word is conversation. I hear you,
Yeah.
ma. Okay. Another one here is from Amuna Choms. He said, "You are really giving it out as it were. The Lord increase you." I say amen on
Thank
our
you,
behalf.
Auntie.
Okay. So help us read these other ones here and then respond to them.
Oh, this is for me and you. Vicky, shout out
Mm.
to my wonderful people, Lami and Emmanuel. Good job there. Shout out to you, Vicky.
Yeah.
Vicky, shout
Okay.
out.
And then this other one here.
The show today is very motivating for those who are balancing their dreams and family lives and doing well at it. For those who were thinking it was impossible and gave up on their dreams. Never
Mm,
ever give up on your dreams. Never ever give up on
mm.
your dreams. Don't let anyone take that from you. Never ever give up on your dreams. I absolutely agree with you.
Wow. Well, true. Okay. Um, so many messages here, but we really need to be wrapping up soon. And I wish I could still squeeze a few times. Okay, let me take a few, even if it's one or two. This is from
Okay,
Fidos Adam Aleo. He says, "Of course you can. Your dreams can be achieved as well as taking care of the family.
that's
The
right.
same time, firstly, you already have your family before your dreams, and also
Mm-hmm.
know what your dreams are. Then follow that your dream step by step. These are all things you plan, then follow it up. I think with this, everything will be balanced." Um, so many messages, but really we can't take them. I think we might do a part two and bring you again to talk extensively.
No
How time really
problem.
flies, you know, how time
Yes,
really
time
flies. But
flies.
yeah, but I still want you to talk a little more about your music as we be wrapping up soon, and then you'll do a pattern song for us. But let's come back to music. I think someone asked a question about album and the challenges and all that. How has it been like being a musician in Nigeria? Because one, it's difficult being a musician in Nigeria, and then secondly, the gospel music hasn't gotten to that extent that it gives
Mm,
opportunities for
yeah.
newcomers and
Mm,
everyone who has a different genre of music, you know. So
yeah.
there are two
Yeah.
things here. You might be a newcomer, but if you do the bobo tigbo tigbo tigba, and then you could call me.
Yes.
But for people like
Yes.
us who do more of conscious music, you know,
Yes.
who we
Yes.
don't do the boogie down, jump up and jump down, and how has it
Mm.
been for you?
Well, I would say first of all that it's been an interesting journey. Like I always say, you need to have a support system because when it's not always going to be rosy. There are many things
True.
you meet so many things along the line that would be a source of discouragement. Now, one other thing I would say is always keep a good relationship with people. Have a good network. Have a good network. You know, I've noticed something. If you go to Jeremiah Gang's Facebook page, he has a very beautiful personality. He relates, there's a way he relates with his fans. Honestly, if
Mm.
you go to his page and see when he drops something, they will just be shared like wildfire. He will
Those
just be
in
one.
droves.
He's just taking a stroll with his wife, and he's just talking with the wife, and having a conversation and having a conversation with you. So the wife will chip in a little, say hello, hi, and Jeremiah will go on and talk. And the next thing you just see that video will just they'll share it, share it, share it, share it. You just see numerous shares, and I'll be like, wow, so there are things you can do. It doesn't have to be the traditional way of, okay, you have to go. Sometimes you say, okay, let's go to Alaba and go and give them this. There are so many options that are available, but have a focus and tell yourself that
Yeah,
this is my end, this is what I want to achieve. So even when things are not going the way you want it to go, stay focused, just stay on the right path. It can be challenging. It has been very interesting for me. I don't want to use the word challenging. It has been interesting.
true.
It has been an interesting journey. It's
Yeah,
not a walk in the park. Even the studio session, sometimes the challenge for some singers, you find out sometimes you even have throat issues. You have
true.
bad days, you have good days. Sometimes some days you have ministration, and you have something that is clashing with it and all that. So sometimes it's not back. There are different challenges, but always have the mindset of I can do it, or this thing is going to work. This thing is going to work. Like I said earlier, when your spirit, is focused on this thing is going to work, it's like the whole earth responds that way to you. So have that mind that this thing must work. If I give my this, I have a good rapport, know how to get across to people, have a good social media, for those of the younger generation, they are very good at these things. I have my younger sister, she's into music too. And even if she's in the car driving with the husband, she will post her video, and people love it. People love it, and that is making her more and more popular. So you do things, have a social media page that is active. Don't just go there posting rubbish. I didn't say you should just go there posting anything, but
because
post
you want
things
to
that
be active.
eye-catching, that will that will get people's and also look at what kind of crowd do you want to attract. So the crowd you want to attract is what you will give out. Whatever you give out, that's what
True.
you will get back. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. I'd like you to give your shout outs now to a few people. Maybe you have 30 seconds to do a shout out to your people, your fans, and then we'll come back and you sign out.
Okay. So, well, first shout out to my husband, the best husband in the whole wide world. Shout out to you, Richie. I love you. Shout out to my children, Nusa Epusa, Ituan. Shout out to my mom. Shout out to Asebe, my sister, Talatu, Jemima, and Faith, my sisters. Shout out to my friends, Oilola. Thank you. Thank you, Auntie Amuna. Thank you, Saro. Thank you, Evelyn, all of you that dropped something on the show. Thank you, Moji, for sending me your feedback. Thank you, everyone, my fans, everyone that has ever shared my post, that has ever sent me any message to encourage me. Shout out to all of you. Anyone that has ever said, "Oh, you did this was great," supported me in one way or the other. Shout out to you. To my pastor too. Let me not forget my pastor, Bishop, and his wife, Mama Becky Atta. Greatest shout out to you. Shout out to all the pastors in Church of God Mission, Lagos Central Bishopric, the entire church, my choir, best choir ever. So appreciate all of you.
Wow. Okay, that's the size of our program. The next voice you'll be hearing will be that of LAMEE signing out. But I want to thank you all for also joining us, and I want to thank my guest, LAMEE, all the way from Lagos, a songwriter, a singer, creative writer, and also a lawyer, a mother, and a counselor. Thanks to everyone who's always joined us, who's always supported us in our programs, making sure they just surprise us with data, with airtime, and so many things. We really thank you all. Yes, like I say, every time we come here, you don't like me mentioning your name, but then I will just show appreciation by keeping us here on the program, making sure that we don't lack anything when we need to come on here. Like I always say before we wrap up the program, do remember to like all our social media handles. For YouTube, right now we're streaming on YouTube and Facebook simultaneously. So this interview is being watched on YouTube and on Facebook. And yeah, we keep saying that like the page and subscribe, and then also you will always get notification. Remember to join us on Twitter and on Instagram. It is at Shagalinku TV, and on Facebook. Yeah, my name is Ambassador Emmanuel Gabari, and urging you all to stay blessed. I will leave you now with Minister LAMEE as she does her closing song. So over to you, ma'am.
Most high, you are Jehovah, you are most high. In the morning when I rise, my voice sing to you, yeah. Late at night when I lay me down to sleep, you're the music and the rhythm that's within me. Ooh, yes you are. Even in the midnight hour, when my burdens overwhelm me. You're the faith inside my heart, you are my everything, yeah. Ooh, that's who you are, Jehovah, Jehovah. Oh, Jehovah, wonderful and glorious God. Yesterday, today, forever, through every generation, Jehovah. I'm into storms and darkness. You're the light that shone within me. Days I thought I wouldn't make it, then you came and you rescued me. This is my story, it's my song, yeah. I'm gonna be praising you all of my days. I will sing glory, glory, and hallelujah. The highest praise I'll give to you, yeah, Jehovah, the tribe of Judah. You were beautiful beyond description, too marvelous for all my words. You are too wonderful for comprehension, like nothing I've ever seen or heard. You alone are the most high God. You reign forever. Like you, Lord, no king like you, my God. Jehovah, 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 yeah, yeah. Hey, Jehovah, I've been number to by Yesu, I've been number to by Yesu, I could talk money. You come to get my Yesu, Ayukan ba mamaki kay nekai, ang masihu kay nekai, meche ton dunia, Meiko duka sarkin duniya, nazo inche ka isa yabo, ka isa yabo, ka isa dukan yabo, ka isa dukan waka. Hey, me ego duka. Hey, Jehovah, you deserve the praise. You're deserving of glory. You're deserving of honor. You're deserving of all adoration. Yeah, Maya bisunanka almasihuna.